Imagine your business not just surviving, but thriving. Your wealth locked in, your opportunities exploding, and your family's future built on a legacy that never fades. I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional. I help entrepreneurs and high-growth enterprises protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth through my proven system, the Wall of Wealth. I unite your experts into one cohesive strategy because the most expensive line on your balance sheet isn't debt or taxes, it's conflicting advice. Ready to align every dollar with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
Happy Wealthy Wednesday, champions. Well, come on in, grab something nice to drink. Get your fuzzy bunny slippers. Today's going to be incredible. You are going to be blown away by my guest speaker today. I want to welcome a few people. An early bird who's joined us, the one and only Coach Carrie Willis. She's known as Great Finances on YouTube. I adore her. We're doing some future collaborations. I absolutely appreciate your support so much. Well, today's topic is going to be deep. And let me start by saying this. I want to explain a little bit and unpack really what I do. A lot of times people tell me, oh, Leah, I already have a financial advisor. I already have a wealth management. I already have somebody that manages my money. And I say, that's cute. But what I do is so much more. Think about it this way. You might have a CPA that kind of works in their wheelhouse, in their little silo there. You might have some kind of person who's helping you with your estate planning. You might have somebody else that does your insurance, but they're all working in different silos. They don't communicate. They probably don't even know each other. What I do is so much more. I bring a team of experts. It's known in the industry as a family office. And what I'm able to do is to bring a full service platform to my happy clients so that when they need an expert in any area, I'm able to bring a vetted specialist. This is very different than me just bringing somebody that I met at a BNI, right? Someone that I met at a mixer. I'm bringing a team of experts that are highly qualified, specialized in their industry, and they know exactly what they need to do to be able to bring value. And these experts work together. We collaborate. Think of it like a beautiful symphony. Because if one note is out of tune, it ruins the entire orchestra. So that's really what I do. And when I do that, what happens is it brings better results, happier clients. They stay with me long term, and they know that I'm that go-to person for them. If they need a realtor, if they need a tax professional, heck, if they need to find a chiropractor, I'm their go-to person, right? I probably have an expert that I can refer them to. And I said all that to say this. Today's guest speaker, I want to introduce to you. She's so much more than a professional realtor, although she is a professional realtor. She is actually my go-to person for local real estate. And personally, I went through a situation where we lost a family member very, very near and dear to me. And we had to liquidate some real estate. And it was probably one of the most difficult things that I've ever done, truly. This had been a family home for 60 years. So a lot of history behind that. And there was a lot of pivots, a lot of bumps in the road. We were going in one direction and then we had to pivot. Well, I knew that she was a trusted person who could do that. If we needed to bring in somebody to remodel the house, we had that. If we needed to do any kind of different pivot and to sell that property, I knew she was that go-to person, and she absolutely did. She's the person that I trust with my real estate transactions. He's a person that I trust locally here in California to help my clients with their real estate. So please give it up for my dear friend, professional realtor, the one and only Miss Deborah Martinez. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, Miss Debbie.
Thank you so much, Leah. It is an honor to be here. I appreciate your invite to your show, and I can't wait to share with your audience some of the things that I'm discovering. It's definitely going to be mind-blowing, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. And our topic today is recover, restore, rebuild your wealth. Home foreclosure does not mean that you're finished. I think this is really profound. I know that it's been kind of a discovery for you. So tell a little bit of people, a little bit about your journey on really discovering this incredible opportunity.
Yes. So honestly, I mean, my story is, when 2000, I've been in the real estate world and lending world for 40 years. And then when 2008 happened, I was in the first line of the first wave of foreclosures, the first wave of problems. And the lenders at that point, we weren't really sure what a short sale was quite yet. We hadn't really just come to that discovery. We were still trying to figure all that out. So when I was trying to get help with my home, I was flat out told, sorry, can't help you. You're a real estate broker in the state of California. That is upside down. Absolutely not. You're done. And so, yes, we lost our home. We lost our rental property. We lost everything. And had I known then what I know now, things could, I mean, this was years and years ago. But, today people are still losing their homes left and right. And so now that I have I have what I call a moral authority to figure this all out, because I wish that somebody would have told me that I could have had surplus funds or excess funds, because I know that my house sold for well over what the lender was owed. And one of the things that I'm finding out is that the lender is only allowed to collect what is owed to the lender. They're not allowed to collect everything else. They're allowed to collect what is owed to them. And of course, there's trustee fees, foreclosure fees, attorney's fees, all kinds of fees that go attached to it. But at the end of the day, whatever is left should have gone to the homeowner. And well, that didn't happen. And they said, in my discovery, they said, well, the lenders always send a letter out to the homeowners. I'm like, okay, so they send a letter out to the home that they just foreclosed on. Okay, like the previous homeowner is going to get that letter. And they don't do a lot of, sending those letters out. They send it once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then that's it. You're on your own. In my situation, I don't know if I have any surplus funds, because I'm still trying to get information from San Benito County. So every county is different. So that's another thing that I'm learning. Every county is different. So there's a whole lot of things that hoops that we have to jump through, and a whole lot of discovery to find these funds. And that's what we do. That's what American Trust Equity Recovery does, is figure out that component. Because I wish that somebody would have told me back then I had excess funds, because I know I did. There's just, the math doesn't math. So, for the past 2 years, honestly, for the past 2 years, I have heard about surplus funds and excess funds. They're known one or the other. And honestly, I thought it was a total scam. I really did. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is, I'd see things on Instagram and see things on social media and think, this is not right. Something's off here. But at the beginning of this year, I was invited to a Zoom call with a lot of very trusted professional realtors who are in the foreclosure space. These are folks that are the #1 team in California for pre-foreclosures and foreclosures. And so I've been learning from them, and I learned that this is not a scam, that this is a real thing. And there are millions of dollars sitting on the county books for somebody to come and claim. And, if you had moved and didn't change your address right away, or just didn't, respond to mail. Honestly, after somebody that has lost a home, it is one of the most humbling experiences that you ever go through. And a lot of people just shut down, don't pay attention to mail, don't read mail, shred everything, don't mess with nothing. And so they remove themselves from the information loop, because of their situation. So I am learning that this is a real thing and that people are owed money and they don't even have a clue. They don't know. And so it's my mission now that I'm in the know of this and know that this is a real thing. I want to help families. I have been harmed in my past. I want to restore my wealth. I want to recover my own wealth, and I totally believe that this is an answer to a whole lot of people's prayers. That's what this is. It is an answer because there's a lot of people that just don't know, and they don't know who to turn to. They don't have a trusted advisor. They don't have somebody like you that can refer, hey, go talk to this lady, see what she can do to help you. They don't have that. And so it is my hope and my prayer that, getting this out to the public will help a lot of people. That's what I believe, that this was put in my lap for a reason. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in none of that stuff. So this was entrusted to me for a reason, and it's my goal and my mission to help as many families as we possibly can. Because there's a lot of people, just imagine, what would you do? What would you do? Some of the examples that I have seen, and I'm looking at the data in Carmel Valley. There were 3 houses in Carmel Valley that had in excess of $1 million in surplus funds. So is this a real deal? Yes, it is. It's real money. And, I am looking forward to my story, my first story that I get to share. The attorney, I went to Los Angeles, spent about 5 hours in a training class with the attorneys that do this. This is their bread and butter. This is what they do. And some of the stories that we heard were absolutely amazing. Life-changing stories. One that really sticks out is a man, this agent had to fly to Kentucky because his claimant was in the state penitentiary. And so he had to fly to Kentucky and talk to this gentleman. And the man did not want to work with him at all. He's like, I'm in prison for the rest of my life. What is that going to do for me? He's like, because when I leave this place and you get your money, I'm going to put $15,000 on your books. And that will take care of you for the rest of your days here. So, there's crazy things that happen in this whole industry. That was just one of the stories that I heard. I heard several. And, there's a lot of reasons that somebody would have surplus funds, and it's not just foreclosures either. It could be tax liens, it could be probate, it could be a number of things. HOA forecloses on somebody. There could be a lot of surplus funds there, and HOAs do foreclose. Reverse mortgages.
Let's kind of stop there because you've got a lot to unpack here. A lot of this too is the nomenclature, right? The terminology that a lot of people don't know. I want to welcome, we've got a lot of people who've joined us, and then we're going to unpack some of what you've shared. I want to welcome again the one and only Coach Carrie Willis. I adore this woman. She has great finances on YouTube. She does more of like the corporate plans, retirement plans, company plans. I really intend to do some collaboration with her. Listen, you want to have people that you can refer to. You want to have trusted people that you can refer your valued clients to. I trust Coach Carrie. She's the same on and off camera, and she's a woman of integrity, and she's a person that I absolutely trust for my clients. So we'll be doing some future collaborations. And also remember, if LinkedIn's getting a little wonky, you can join on my YouTube channel, Dynasty Builder 93940. I see a lot of people in the comments here. I want to welcome the one and only Brother Chris Monastery. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. He's actually on a quest, on a vision to help save teen lives. Distracted driving is rampant. He wrote a book, which is incredible, sharing his own tragic story of how distracted driving impacted him. He's got also a YouTube channel. He's got an incredible website. He's got some new merch. You got to connect with him because I think distracted driving, he focused on teens, but I say distracted driving impacts all of us. And since I've met Brother Chris, truly, it's made my awareness about distracted driving too. So we appreciate you so much. And Chris, please put in the comments. I know you've got some upcoming events. Please put it in the comments. Share your opportunity for people to buy your merch. Remember, this is my show. I love to cater to business owners and entrepreneurs. So if you are here, go ahead and shout yourself out, collaborate, connect with people who are in the comments here. This is our turn to shout ourselves out and to network. Yuma, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you so much. She has a true vision. If you have not met her, I want you to connect with her. Enjoy a coffee chat. Listen, it is about us getting to know the people that we're connected with. Invest a few minutes. It doesn't mean you need to take hours, but 3-5 minutes. Say hello, get to know her. Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate you. And then we have, I cannot even believe that she's here, the one and only Miss Jackie Hallberg. Thank you for joining us. This woman is incredible. First of all, she's got an amazing voice. I'm waiting for her to read me this bedtime story. I just got my new book. We're More Than Our Diagnosis. I got the second edition. So Miss Jackie, maybe you can read me a chapter out of there. But not only is she an incredible person, she's a networker. She hosts Just Jacks and Friends, incredible, on Mondays, 6 p.m. Pacific, but also she just donated a kidney. How many times, I have never in my life met someone who donated a kidney to help someone that they know. That's incredible. I honor you, Miss Jackie. I appreciate you. And she even joined one of my events from the hospital bed. I said, oh my gosh, I'm so honored to have you here. Also, let's see, we've got a few more people. Miss Lisa Favec, she is our menopause mentor. She's our expert dietitian in the house.
I need to know her.
If you want to learn about menopause, if you want to learn, she really focuses on women's health. I've learned so much from her, not just about menopause, but really about the things that we need to do to treat our body. She puts tremendous newsletters out. I always enjoy reading her newsletter. She has collaborations all the time. Thank you so much, Miss. I call her Lisa. Okay, if you don't know Lisa, anyway, you might not know who Lisa is, but some people do. And then also we have the one and only Miss Nick Angai Galindo is in the house. She is the brilliance behind guiding brilliant writers. Thank you for joining us. She is a publisher, and in fact, she's the person that I'm referring you to, Debbie, to write your story, you and Danny. You absolutely need to connect with her. She's an absolute gem. She is a mastermind collaborator, a mastermind promoter. I love to really hear from her authors. She really does draw that brilliance out. And everyone she connects me with for my show are just incredible. So thank you so much, Nick, for being here. I appreciate you so much. And then we have somebody that you and I both know. Miss Elodia is here joining us on Facebook. Thank you so much, Miss Elodia. Great to see you. We appreciate you so much. And of course, the one and only, the queen herself, Miss Leslie Flowers. She is our mastermind. She's really the person that keeps us all in check here on LinkedIn, if you don't know, right? She hosts Mind Over Matter Mondays, where she's always talking about highlighting different speakers about, how we can grow our mind and grow our thinking. And also one of my favorite shows that she hosts at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is Think and Grow Rich Friday. If you have ever heard of the book Think and Grow Rich, if you've ever studied that book, she spent multiple decades. She even studied with Bob Proctor. When I found that out, I just absolutely warmed my heart. I adore this woman. I honor her. She has so much wisdom, and she pours into us every single week. She could be charging for these events. She does them for free. How many people, instead of charging, give out their information for free, right? That's one of my favorite F words. So thank you so much, Queen, for being here. So let's unpack this foreclosure surplus funds. That may be kind of a high level word for people. So let's go, explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. Let's say I've been through a foreclosure, or I know somebody who suffered a foreclosure. What generally happens during that process? So let's just start what is a foreclosure? Really basic.
Okay. So starting at the very beginning, if somebody has missed 3 monthly payments on their mortgage. The following month, a notice of default will be sent out to the client saying, hey, you have a problem. We haven't received a payment for 90 days. That starts the legal timeline. Okay. They have 90 days to cure that default and then be okay. So if they can cure the default, pay the back payment, or sometimes it's modifying, doing a modification. There's a lot of attempts that we go through to try to save the property, especially if they want to save the property. It really depends on what the client wants. Sometimes the clients are saying, hey, I'm done, forget it, I'm done, sell it, just sell it. But if a client, and I just had this happen last month, I went to meet the client. They were going to go to trustee sale, and that's the next step. If you don't cure the default, the next step is you go to trustee sale. That's where they sell the house on the courthouse steps. Okay, and then that's your foreclosure. Then it is a full-blown foreclosure. Okay, and so if you have
what does that mean? Help us to know, understand, what does a foreclosure actually mean?
That means that the bank has, at that point, the bank has taken the property back. They've taken the home back. There's like, you had your whole notice of default redemption period. You didn't redeem. You had your 21 days for the trustee sale. You still weren't able to redeem and rectify it. So now at that point, the bank has taken the house back. And now it is it's called an REO, real estate owned property. You are no longer the owner of the property. The bank owns the property. And at that point, there's still some options, cash for keys. So if we have a situation where the folks are still in the home, the bank will sometimes offer cash for keys. They'll tell them, hey, if you vacate the property, remove all your personal items and leave the home in a broom swept condition, we're going to give you X amount of dollars to relocate and start anew. And that happens often, and sometimes it works out, and then sometimes the people just don't want to mess with it and they just leave. So now the bank is the owner of the property, and then they're going to, now it's their job to take that asset and liquidate it and sell it and get the...
Okay. Let's kind of stop there, okay? Because you kind of mentioned this, but I want to really circle back and highlight this. Okay. What are some reasons people could go into foreclosure? Is it just simply they're not paying, or are there other things that could happen?
There's a lot of reasons.
Okay, let's unpack that.
There's a lot of reasons. Death, divorce, just somebody losing their job, them having to be the caretaker of their spouse, and finances are all crazy. I mean, there's a million different reasons that could put somebody in that position. It is not, and the stigma is, oh my God, they didn't make their payments for 90 days. That is not, they had life happening to them for 90 days, okay? And so that's what that's all about. Though during that time frame, life was happening to them. They were not able to cure the default for whatever reason.
So generally then it is a 90-day, or could it be a longer process?
Well, 90 days is just the notice of default redemption period. After that 90-day period time frame has elapsed, then the next thing that happens is the trustee sale. And then you've got like 21 days for that to happen. And if in some cases, real estate professionals are able to stop the foreclosure, they're able to stop the trustee sale. I mean, we've been able to stop trustee sales up like 5 minutes before the sale was to happen. Last month I stopped a foreclosure sale. It was like 2 days before it was supposed to happen. And we were able to cure the default and get that taken care of and make my client whole again, because she was adamant that she wasn't selling her house. And so there's things that we can do to help stop it and prolong it and postpone it. So it could drag out a few more extra months, just depending on what we're dealing with.
Okay. So some of the reasons are people could have lost a job and now they're unable to make the payment. People could be going through divorce and maybe one person or another is expected to make that payment. They're kind of battling over that. Could be a death in the family. Somebody passes away and that family member who's taken it over, maybe there isn't somebody, maybe they don't have the right documents, they don't have a trust. They don't have somebody who has that power of attorney who could go in and step in and
Exactly.
get the information to be able to make that payment. Sometimes they are not aware that there's a mortgage on the house. I've seen that a lot. Maybe they had a second on the property. They paid off the mortgage, but now they've got a second. Also, could it be, you said HOAs? An HOA could call? How could
HOA can file, yes, if you owe your HOA can file foreclosure on you. And when an HOA files foreclosure on you, I mean, you know, they're worried about their, couple of thousands of dollars. They want to get their couple of $1,000s. Well, what about all the rest of the money that is there for the clients, all the excess funds, all the surplus funds that are there? If they owed their HOA $50,000 and they owed their mortgage, let's say $200,000, but their house was worth almost $1 million, where's the rest of that money?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So foreclosure doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't been making your mortgage payment. It could be an HOA. So if somebody has a condo or they live in an HOA area, that HOA may be just a few $100s a month, but that if they're delinquent, then the HOA could go in and take their house and sell it in a foreclosure. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is. We just had one happen where, honest to God, the HOA filed foreclosure. The HOA was owed about $40-something thousand, so not just a little bit of money, but we were able to close it because we were able to go in and negotiate part of that HOA fee down. We're like, look, we got an offer, we have a sale, but yeah, y'all are going to have to come down on your fees to make this happen. You know, you can't charge all of those fees because we've got to balance out. We've got to balance out and get to net zero here. And so you can't charge, you know, $15,000, $20,000 worth of fees. You charge your HOA fees, but all of the excess garbage fees. And we were able to negotiate that. And what's today, Wednesday? That transaction just closed on Monday. So
that's awesome.
It takes, I mean, yeah, you have to, there's a whole lot of negotiating that goes into to selling these properties and getting these things taken care of.
That is so awesome. I love it. I'm going to welcome a few more people who have joined us. And then I also want to respond to this comment. This is a personal comment here. Yes, Jackie, I would love it. Let's plan it. I mean, I just adore her so much. She has the most incredible voice. I just want to grow up and be like just Jax. Okay. I just absolutely do. And she's been to all 50 states, which I think is a wonderful thing too. I also want to welcome one of my good friends, Ms. Coral from across the pond, Ms. Coral Conneberry. Thank you for joining us. She teaches women how to hear the voice of God, and she also has an incredible travel company. You know what, Ms. Coral, you got to come on and share with us about your travel company because I see you doing all these great things. I think it would be a fun conversation. We all want to learn how to travel more. Maybe we could do it for free. I don't really know how that works. We also have somebody that's new here. Life happens. You're absolutely right. I don't want to butcher your name. I'll call you Miss M. Okay. Thank you for joining us. It's incredible to have you here. We appreciate you. And by the way, I ask you, let me know where you're joining us from. I'm here live in beautiful downtown Monterey. Let us know where you're joining us from. And are you finding us here on LinkedIn? Are you on YouTube? Are you on Facebook? Let us know where you're tuning in from. What neck of the woods are you in? And share this with somebody. Do you know somebody who is in the middle of a foreclosure, who may be threatened with foreclosure? Maybe they're going through some of those situations where there has been a death in the family. There has been somebody that's going through a divorce, or maybe, you know what? I see this too. Somebody who gets up in their years and now they have dementia. They're having trouble with their faculties. They're unaware that these bills are coming in. And you mentioned another thing too that I want to ask you is that could it also be due to back taxes? Can that also cause a foreclosure?
Yes, actually it can. So the taxes can be a problem. And then also if you have a reverse mortgage. So if you have a reverse mortgage, in the body of your reverse mortgage are all your payments. You don't have to worry about a payment, right? You're living off of your equity. But the only thing you do have to worry about in a reverse mortgage, if you don't pay your homeowner's insurance and if you don't pay your taxes, they will foreclose. We just had a situation in Burson where this older gentleman is in foreclosure, and he's like, I don't know how I'm in foreclosure. I'm in a reverse mortgage. Well, after peeling that onion back and asking a whole lot of questions, he tells us, you know what? I canceled my homeowner's insurance because it went to $10,000 a year. And I can't afford that. I'm on Social Security. I can't afford $10,000 a year. They canceled his insurance, and now he's in foreclosure because of that.
Wow.
So yes, taxes, insurance, HOA. I mean, yeah, anybody can do that. That's why you need a trusted advisor.
That
to
is
help
really,
you navigate those waters.
yeah, that is really deep. I mean, I didn't realize about the taxes, and those bills sometimes come through and people kind of just toss it, like they're used to seeing their mortgage. Maybe if somebody's stepping in, you know, like I was stepping in as assessor trustee to pay the bills and stuff, but maybe I wasn't aware that there was an HOA, or maybe I wasn't aware that there was homeowners insurance that haven't been paid, because there's a lot of paperwork that goes into when you start managing someone else's estate. So that is really profound. And one of the reasons why I trusted you, because I know a lot of professional realtors who are all wonderful, but one of the reasons why I did pick you, Debbie, is because, other than you're cute as a button, right? Is because I didn't know what was going to happen with this sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like I shared, you know, it was a family home. It had been a family home for 70 years. They bought it brand new, paid like $27,000 for it back in 1972, if you can believe that. And I had no idea which way we were going to go. I didn't know if we were going to be able to go ahead and fix it up. I didn't know if we were going to have to fix it up. I didn't really even know the true status of the house. It was kind of had been a family home for a long time, so there were a lot of things happening there. And I needed somebody who could pivot with me and help me to unpack that. So how important is that when you're looking for a professional realtor? How important is that? Is that just because my story was you know, a little windy, or do you think that's kind of how it goes?
Leah, you will be surprised at how many people's stories are windy. Okay. It's not even just selling in the best of situations. Okay. Best of circumstances. Selling a home is stressful. It is. There's a whole lot of moving parts. There's a whole lot of terminology that the sellers don't have any idea about. Now, I bet you learned a whole lot during that process, did you not?
I learned so much.
Like, welcome to my world, girl. And you were like, no, thank you.
I said, you know what? I learned something that I love what I do. I have no interest in being a realtor, so don't try to recruit me. I know that is not me at all. That's not my jam.
Yes. And there's a whole lot of things that, you know, that goes into that. So when you're picking a realtor, you need to know, you know, I guess the number one question I would ask a realtor is, what do you do besides put the house on MLS to sell it? Because a lot of realtors think that, oh, I just got to plop it on MLS. It's a done deal. They'll sell itself. Yeah, no, that's not this world today. Sorry, that used to be way back in the day, but that is not this world today. Okay, the second thing that I would probably ask is, you know, communication is a big deal. A lot of people communicate and like to communicate differently. Some prefer text message, some prefer phone, some prefer email. So knowing how you're going to communicate in the very beginning, it's critical. It is. I mean, I still have our text message thread, and yeah, there's a whole lot of exchange going on. So that exchange is critical because that's your communication. And then the last thing I would think is, what kind of experience do you have in dealing with my situation? So whatever your situation is, if you have a specific situation, a foreclosure, or a death in the family, whatever it is, straight up ask them, how much experience do you have dealing with this?
Yeah, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because a lot of realtors, and not to knock anybody, but a lot of realtors are just your average realtor. They list and they sell, and that's it. That's it, you know? And so, in my situation, I list, I sell, I do residential, commercial, I do foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, probate, trust. I mean, the whole gamut. That's what I have, after 40 years in the industry, that is what I have armed myself with. And my little toolbox is nice and packed with a whole lot of ammunition for my clients. And you mentioned the word collaboration earlier. I can't even express what a valued word that is, because collaboration in this industry is critical. You know, there's a lot of collaboration that goes. I mean, I close transactions with people that aren't on my same team. You and I work together. We're not on the same team, but we still work together and collaborate. I still have other people that I work with on other teams and different things, and we're not connected as a team, but we still do a lot of collaboration. That's a very, very powerful word, and everybody should be figuring out, who do I collaborate with about my problem? You know, because honest to God, everybody in life has some problem or another. And my job is, I have a little thing on my wall right in front of me, and it says, my job as a Christian is to leave people better than I found them.
That's right.
Whatever the case is, whatever I'm working on, my job is to leave them better than what I found them.
And you absolutely do. And I will share this. I mean, I knew this was going to be a difficult sale. And then we're going to really dive into the surplus funds and what that means.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I knew going in, not only were you going to be the person who could pivot and kind of unwind this windy road, but I knew that the communication would be there. And I warned you, I'm like, are you sure you want to go on this ride with me? Are you sure? Because I don't know how I'm going to react. I don't know what I'm going to need. And
Exactly.
And I'd love to say that you did it just because you and I are personal friends, but I know you, and I know that's how you treat all of your clients. I absolutely know that. And I would call you at times when I was just at my wits' end, like I didn't know which way was up, but I could always depend on you to be that voice of reason and say, okay, what can we do? What are our options? And then let's take the next step forward. And I think that's very valuable. That's something that you can't really quantify when you're looking for an expert. Are they going to be that voice of reason? Are they going to answer your phone? Listen, I can't even tell you how many professionals I call that don't even answer their phone. They don't even have a voicemail. I won't even talk about that. We're not going to go there, right?
Whole nother show, Leah.
That's a whole other show. So now somebody has gone through a foreclosure. It's you mentioned a word, trustee sale.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
That the trustee sale date, that is when it's all over. The sale date's set, and if you don't have somebody like me that comes in and stops that sale date at that point in time, that means your house is reverted back to the bank. It's now an REO, real estate owned property, back to the bank.
Has there ever been a time when that happens and the owner wasn't aware?
Yes, all the time. Absolutely.
How did that happen?
Because a lot of stuff falls through the cracks. I talked to a gentleman about 2 weeks ago. It was a lead for pre-foreclosure, and I got him on the phone, and he was like, oh, well, I think there's a mistake. And I was like, well, what's the mistake? And he goes, well, you want to talk to me about the foreclosure? And I said, yes, I want to see what we can do to stop the foreclosure. He's like, well, Debbie, the foreclosure happened in January. I'm like, what? What do you mean it happened in January? He goes, yeah, I lost my home in January. And he goes, I had no notification. It was totally fraudulent. And I said, well, no. I said, when the notice of default is filed, I said, then they come to your house and they plaster it all over your door. They tape it on your door, a big notice of default sign. He goes, never got that. And I said, okay, you didn't get that? I said, what about the big notice of trustee sale that they plaster on your door when it's time for the trustee sale? Nope, didn't get that either. It's like, yeah, your next call should be to an attorney, because you're going to need an attorney, because yes, things do fall through the cracks all the time. Nothing is perfect. I mean, nothing is perfect. And things fall through the cracks. It's very rare that it does happen, but it does happen. I know a dear
Wow.
friend of mine in Salinas, and this was probably like in 2010, 2012, right around that time. Yeah, she came home and her locks were changed. And she's like, I've been going through the whole modification process for over a year, and they're still working with me. I was like, not according to that notice on the door, honey. They've quit working with you. Now it's done. She was not properly notified, so it happens all the time. It does.
Wow.
And it's very sad, but yes, it does.
Wow, that's heart-wrenching.
It
That
is.
I can't even imagine. You think that you're going through a modification, you go home and you can't even get in. So now you got to figure that out. So let's use some realistic numbers. I know we're here in California. I'm in Monterey. Listen, a starter home is $1 million. If you don't know California prices,
At
probably
least.
as like where Nick is. She said, that's crazy. So good you could stop that precious. That I think she's trying to say that process at the last minute. Yeah, that was really incredible. I was just like, I was overjoyed for that. I don't know them, but when he told me the story, I said, wow, that's so amazing that you're able to do that.
Crazy.
That's a true superhero moment. I adore that. So now when somebody, let's say they don't live in Monterey, they live in anywhere USA, because foreclosure could be anywhere in the country, right? Whether you're in California, Florida.
Yes.
Now that the house, maybe they owed $100,000 on it and sold for $500,000. Okay. So is that what you're talking about? That difference? Let's say I owed $100,000 for whatever reason. I went through the foreclosure. I didn't know. And now the house has been taken by a trustee sale. It's been sold on the courthouse steps. Is that what happens?
That is correct. Yes.
And now they sold it for $500,000.
Yes.
So we're talking about that difference.
The gap. Yeah. So you got the money that is owed to the lender. And then, of course, you can't forget, the trustee fees, sale fees, the foreclosure fees, any attorney fees that were involved. So after everything is picked apart and paid, the rest of that money, the balance, the surplus, goes to the county that property is located in. And it is on the county books. It's on their books, their ledger sheet. And for X amount of dollars, whatever that excess is. And the thing is that families don't know. They're depending on families to know this. They're depending on heirs to know this. They're depending on the trustee to know this. People don't know. They don't. And so that money sits on the county books until somebody like me comes along and says, hey, what do we got here? My client would like their money back. Thank you very much. And so it is just finding the people that have been harmed by this. That's what our mission is right now, is to find those people that have had a foreclosure where they only owed a little bit on the house and their house sold for X amount of dollars. The math is obvious. I mean, when the math ain't math, then you need to do some investigating. So that's, what we're looking for are those folks that have been harmed. And
so that difference, let's say it's by the time you pay fees and everything, let's just say it's $300,000. Is that fair? Okay. Yeah. So now they're owed that $300,000. Why don't they just know that money's owed to them?
The reason they don't know is because when that lender first took the house back, within 30 days, they're going to send them a notice that says, hey, you have excess funds, surplus funds. And again, they send that notice to the house they just took back from them. Okay. The client's not going to be there. Most likely, probably, a lot of people don't forward their addresses right in the beginning. They don't want to keep getting all that garbage mail, all that mail to remind them of what they've just lost. So you would be surprised. Actually, how people don't change their address, don't you?
I do.
We've experienced that.
Another show. That's another show.
That's another show. But so they'll send out letter number 1, no response because it's going to the deep 6 trash. And then like 30 days later, they'll send out a second notice again to the same address. They don't do any due diligence to get on the phone and try to track these people down. They don't do that. So by the time that I'm done with all of this, I'm going to be known as a professional skip tracer, because I'm going to be able to find you. And I'm going to put plans in place to be able to find folks. Okay, so we can help them. So they don't know because, I mean, let's be real. I don't know. Do the banks really want them to know? You know, in my mind's eye, I've been doing this for a lot of years. So in my mind's eye, it's like, okay, well, when we go through escrow and we close escrow, our escrow, they're our neutral third party. They process everything, all the fees, all the everything. Why can't they just process excess funds fees back to the owner? I don't understand that. If we know that there's excess funds, when we close escrow, why doesn't that just get handled in escrow? I don't know. I can't answer that question yet. Maybe in a couple of months, I'll have an answer to that.
Yeah. So it sounds like it just gets lost in the sauce.
It is.
In other words, the bank got their money, and whoever had that, the HOA got paid, the taxes got paid, maybe, you know, the second mortgage or reverse mortgage got paid, the primary mortgage, all the debtors got paid, but nobody really is taking the time to find that person who lost their home and say, hey, even though you did lose your house, you still have thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars that is owed to you. I mean, it's just like it's
mind-boggling. It can be a lot of money. The attorney that is, you know, doing the training and everything, his biggest case that he ever had, he made like $100,000. His agent made $100,000, and the client got like $800,000 back. Can you imagine somebody dropping $800,000 in your lap? I mean, I'm
just at a loss for words that there's money there and nobody is aware of it. Maybe they just feel so terrible about it.
I think honestly, here's what I really think. You know, when you have something that you feel that is working for you and it's making you a lot of money and they've got like the niche on the market, they don't want everybody to know. They just don't. You know, they want to keep that information to yourself. They're not like me, where I find something that's like, oh my God, look at what we can do to help people. I want to blast it all out to the world. I don't want to keep that for me. I want to share with everybody to help, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, you know. But yeah, I think that it just stayed like a hidden treasure for so long because people weren't willing to share it. Wow. The attorneys weren't willing to share it. The trustees weren't willing to share it. Nobody was willing to share that information. So,
well, what I love about this is people deal with a lot of shame when they lose a house, whatever the reason was, whether it was taxes or whether it was, you know, going through a divorce. But there's a lot of shame people feel because there's so much pride in home ownership. And when they lose a house, they just feel so devastated, like they don't even want to go back there. They don't want to revisit that painful memory of having to hand over the keys, or worse yet, showing up to their house and they can't unlock the door. So it's probably something that they just kind of push out of their mind and they don't even give themselves an opportunity. I think this is incredible. I think it's so incredible. I know it's so incredible. That's why I've partnered with you in this, because I really believe we can help a lot of people. There are so many people that have gone through that foreclosure process. So kind of winding down here, I don't know where this hour went. It went so fast. If someone is looking for, let's see, Jackie has a comment here. And Miss Coral says, wow, foreclosure is serious. It is. And Miss Jackie said, this is wild that it can't be done automatically. Right? You would just say, here's your refund check. Here you go. Here's the check. Here's your debit card. You got $800,000 on your debit.
Works for me.
Here's another comment. She said, I can't imagine embarrassment that may help stop people from asking.
Yes.
That's right. It is that embarrassment. It is that shame. You may feel guilty, like, gosh,
you know stigma.
What? There's a lot of stigma in place for that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So kind of in closing here, if someone's looking for a realtor, let's say they're, you know, in a different state, or they're just looking for a professional realtor, what are a few things that they need to ask that person? Because let's be honest, let's be real. There are realtors everywhere. Your bookkeeper, probably a realtor, probably your Starbucks barista is probably a realtor. What are a few questions people should ask if they're interviewing a potential realtor?
I would really probably ask, if they do this full time, this is their profession and they know their craft. Okay. That's a big deal. If this is somebody that's just, somebody's cousin that's playing this on the weekends and on their free time, that's not the realtor for you. There's some great realtors out there, but honestly, if you want to find a good realtor to help you, do you do this full time? And depending on what your situation is, whatever that situation is, how much experience do you have working in this arena? That's huge, because if you have a notice of default that is pending and you are trying to save your home and you don't know anything about pre-foreclosure negotiations, you are doing your client a disservice. So, honestly, find somebody who, depending on your situation, somebody who has working experience, not just, I took a class on that, I read a book. No, working experience, trusted experience, going from the cradle to the grave, handling that client. And that would be a very important question. And then communication, again, back to communication, that's key. You would be surprised at how many people do not answer their phones. Even when I'm calling people, trying to schedule showings or schedule this, people don't answer their phones. I don't understand it. My phone is my livelihood. If I don't answer this phone, I don't feed my family, so, make sure they answer their phone too. Make sure they work on Saturdays. I had a lady tell me, oh, I don't work weekends. I'm like, how do you do business if you don't work weekends? I can't work with somebody who don't work weekends. I work every weekend and I need people on the weekend. So you and I won't be compatible, so there's a lot of those are important questions to be asking people. But I think the real big one is the experience. What experience do you bring to the table? This is my situation. This is what I'm going through. I'm in meltdown mode and I need somebody with some working experience and knowledge how to get me from this process right now to pass this process.
Yeah,
with the least amount of stress as possible.
Whew, there you go. That's the caveat there. You want somebody who's going to get down and dirty with you, right? They're going to
exactly
go down that road. And I appreciate you so much. What you did for us as a family was tremendous. And I'm so grateful that you have the expertise, the knowledge, and really the kindness. And like I said, I know that we're friends on and off, but I know that's how you are I've seen you. I've seen you for years. I know that's how you are, true. Here's a great comment. Yeah, here's a great comment by Coach Carey. People don't have to lose their homes. There are laws in place in the USA to protect families. Applied knowledge is powerful. And I would say applied knowledge with the right person, right? I may know how to do it. I may have read a book about it. I may have seen it on YouTube, but I have never done it before. The only way to learn how to ride a bike is if you've been on a bike before, right? You have to actually be on that bicycle.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how true to point that is, I used to tell my granddaughter, when she was young and learning how to read, knowledge is power, sweetheart. Knowledge is power. You've got to read. You've got to read, and you've got to study, and you've got to do all this. And probably about 10 years ago, I had to go back to her and I said, Mija, I'm so sorry. I said, I taught you that knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I said, but I'm going to revamp that. I said, knowledge isn't power. It's applied knowledge is power. Those are two totally different ball games. So she's like, oh, I understand that, Nana. I understand that, because yes, applied knowledge is where the power comes.
Fire, mic drop. I knew you were bringing the fire. I knew you were going to bring your golden nuggets today. Well, in closing, do you have any last words? How can people reach you? You've made a lot of new fans and friends. Where do people find you? How do they contact you? If they're going through a foreclosure, going through a divorce, if they have back taxes, if they have an HOA, maybe they've had a death in the family, they've got a property, they don't even know where to begin. Where can they find you? How do they connect with you?
I am on LinkedIn and Facebook under Deborah Martinez, Deborah J. Martinez. And Deborah is spelled Deborah.
All right, beautiful.
Yeah, and you can just message me. I'd be happy to speak to anybody. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share this. And honest to God, if people, what I would leave people with is, if you know anybody that is in distress, it doesn't, maybe that's not foreclosure, maybe something else is going on. I mean, it doesn't have to be the worst of the worst. Even if you just have questions, I answer my phone and I answer questions. I don't charge people for that. I am, I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and I am more than willing to share what I know, and not going to charge you for that. So you are free to call me at any time. Right? We talked on the phone till 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Yes, we did.
I'm supposed to be in bed at 9.
Sometimes we were talking on the phone through tears. Oh my gosh, Debbie, I don't know what to do, but I appreciate you so much. So now I'm going to put you back down in the green room. I think they've got some margaritas. I'm not really sure what's down there, but we'll send you back down there. And thank you so much. And I would just say this: if you learned something today, if you know anyone who's struggling with their real estate and they don't know who to turn to, please reach out to my good friend, Miss Deborah Martinez. I absolutely do appreciate her assistance, her guidance so much. And you're so right, Christina. Christina Salgado, she's going to be here on Wealthy Wednesday next week. People find it difficult to ask for help. As professionals, we have a responsibility to follow through. Absolutely. That is a mic drop. I totally agree with that. And so my question to you is this: I truly believe that collaboration is the new currency. Who are you collaborating with here in 2026? How many people do you refer to? Listen, I do no pitch coffee chats. I have dubbed myself the queen of no pitch coffee chats. Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes people think, oh, Leah, you're just trying to pitch slap me. Oh, you just want to, sell me something. But I'm actually looking for many things. I'm looking at, maybe you could be a good guest speaker for my Wealthy Wednesday show. I'm also thinking about, who could I connect you with? Yes, I give referrals. I connect people with others. That's why you want to have a no pitch coffee chat with me. You want me to know about you and what you do, because I have a huge network. I'm meeting people all the time, and I'm always looking for, who can I connect people with? That's one of the things that I love to do. I don't know that it's, really any kind of monetary value to me, but I just truly believe that givers gain. It's my fiduciary responsibility. If I know somebody who I believe can bring value to you, then that's something that I'm going to absolutely do. I'm going to take that time to make that introduction. I'm going to make that time to look for the people that are in my network that can bring value to you, because I truly believe it is one conversation from where you are to where you want to be. It's only 2 degrees of separation. If you're on here, it's because you're the one that's supposed to change your family's last name forever. That's right. You're the dynasty builder in your family. And maybe that means you amass a fortune. Maybe it means you're the first person in your family to be debt-free. Maybe it means you're the first person in your family to buy a home. I don't know what that means to you, but I believe true wealth is having prosperity in all the 7 F's. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Please share this with somebody who needs to hear this. And I'm always looking for guest speakers. Remember, this is 2026. It is our year to come out of the shadows and to get in the mix. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.